In this video, I'm going to go over Wholesaling 101. Let's dive right in. To start with, what is wholesaling? What is the art of wholesaling real estate? Let's not overcomplicate this, right? The art of wholesaling is finding a product, in this case, real estate, for a lower price than what a potential buyer is willing to pay, and you sell it, assign that contract to the buyer for a higher price than what you originally bought it for. That's the art of wholesaling, and you make the spread in the middle. For example, if you buy this pen, it's a custom pen, and your buyer is willing to pay $10 per each pen, right? But you have a connection, or you worked out a deal where this pen costs you $2. So what you do is you go and get a contract for $2 on this pen, and then you go and assign that contract, or you sell that pen or that contract to the end buyer that's willing to pay $10 for this pen. And in theory, you make $8 on that spread. That is the art of wholesaling. You do not have to overcomplicate this. The step one to wholesaling is, how do you find deals, right? You can't sell a product if you don't have a product. And so what I recommend everyone to get started with, especially if you have a little bit of money, let's call it $1,000. Say you have $1,000 for 30 days. What I recommend you get started with is PPL/PPC. They're both the same, it's just a different model. What PPL is, pay per lead. You have providers like LeadZolo, you have providers like iSpeed to Lead, where you can go and purchase leads that have been procured already, whether it is live or recently, and you can buy them at a discount, right? You should not be looking at how to run your own Facebook campaigns, your own ads, your own Google ads, your own YouTube ads, etc. You need way more money than $1,000, $20,000, $30,000 to do this effectively and correctly. Reason being, you have to train the algorithm on what a good deal is, what a bad deal is, etc. With 10, 20, 30,000, you will not do this correctly. You will get lucky, because I spent over 20,000 doing it myself just in a month, but we did get lucky. But once you figure out the entire system, you realize this is not what you should be doing when you have minimal investment. Later down the road, you can definitely teach yourself how to correctly do a PPC or Facebook ads or TikTok ads or Instagram ads. They all pretty much work similarly, especially the back end. They're pretty much similarly. Once you make contact with this lead, this is step 3. Step 3. Once you make contact with this lead, there's 5 questions, 5 steps that you have to go over. Okay? And this is coined by the closer's formula with RJ Bates. We have a similar approach, very direct, no fake underwriters, no fake nothing, it's just, you're the guy, you're the main person that the seller is dealing with, you're the buyer. And so question number 1, even if it's an inbound lead and it came in 2 seconds ago, I still ask this. Hey, John Doe, Eric here. Are you still looking to sell that property? And you wait for confirmation. Yes. Oh, perfect. Or, oh, great. Awesome. Gotcha. How much are you looking to get for that property? That's question number 2. How much are you looking to get for that property? Question number 2, right? 90 to 95% of the time, they're so shocked that you asked them up front that they tell you the true price of how much they are looking to get for that property, right? Now, this is where new folks may have a steep learning curve, because you have to have the skill and the ability to underwrite this deal or comp this deal, use comparables to figure out the price range of this deal, right? It might be tough when you're first getting started to be on the phone and also underwriting or comparing this deal with other deals in the neighborhood, right? I'll post a link below on a free way to compare properties using Zillow. I'll post that video below in the description. 9 times out of 10, most sellers have the wrong price, but a lot of motivation, or you get lucky and you get tons of motivation and the right price. Those are really the 2 buckets that everyone needs to be in. Bucket 1, tons of motivation and the right price. That's a deal all day long. The most common is the second bucket, which is the price is wrong, but there's a ton of motivation. So the price being wrong may be they're over asking, they're at retail, etc. And what you have to do with those leads is educate them, bring them back down to reality with facts, truth, no lying, no underwriter, no ghosts, no financial partner, no nothing, just facts, right? And so your ability to underwrite this deal on the phone is something that you'll have to really sharpen and work at. Now, a quick way to do this, right, is just jump on Zillow really quickly while you're on the phone with them, right? Whether it's on a laptop or your same phone, type in that address. More times than not, if it's a metro market, a metroplex, a bigger city, Zillow will give you what's called the Zestimate, the Zillow Zestimate. And what the Zestimate is just an algorithm that pulls data from recently sold property and compares it to your property. This does not take into account condition, timeline, rehab, nothing. It's just numbers and algorithm. And so you can use that as a baseline, right? If this is the only way you know how to comp or you could comp at the moment, let's just say this estimate is 100,000 and the seller is asking 40,000. A quick way you can do this is do 100,000 times 0.75 minus the repairs and minus your wholesale fee. That brings me up to question number 3. I'm throwing a lot at you, so I understand if you get a little overwhelmed. You may have to replay this video a few times to really jot down all the golden nuggets and all the intricacies of Wholesaling 101. Question 3 is the condition of the property. You ask them, tell me a little bit about the property. What's going on? And you shut up. You let them talk. They'll tell you everything. They'll tell you everything that's going on. And this is the best time when you start underwriting. You put your phone on mute. You start underwriting. You just let them talk. But you need the ability to listen and underwrite and sometimes jot down important facts. Like, hey, I just got a new roof. Just jot that down. But you don't want to interrupt them once you're on that third question. Okay? Number 4, right after they get going with all of that, you got your price, you got everything. Number 4 is, John, how'd you come up with that price? 9 times out of 10, they're either going to tell you, well, I looked at Zillow, or well, I put in X amount of money and I figure this is a good cost. Or sometimes I've had people tell me straight up, I just came up with that number. It sounds good. No problem, right? You combat that. You deal through those, right? And then the last question you ask is, well, John, if I can pay you all cash, there's no fees, there's no agents involved, no commissions you have to pay, what is the best price you can do? And then you shut up. You let them talk. You sit there in awkward silence, even if it takes 2 minutes. I've sat in quiet for literally a minute while the guy's thinking it over, and then he eventually said, boom, this is the number, and we close the deal. So you shut up, and you stay quiet, and you let that deal come to you. That's 1 through 5 questions that you need to ask when you're wholesaling. Now, the biggest, most requested question that I get from newer wholesalers is 1, how to underwrite, and 2, what's the calculator to underwrite. Okay? Underwriting and comping go hand in hand. Underwriting is more intricacies, more numbers, crunching everything. Comping is looking at the data, seeing who sold or what sold, for how much, how long ago, etc. And so that's a whole separate video. This video would go for 20, 30, 50 minutes if we really broke that down. And so for just simple math, you can just do the after repair value, owner's estimate, times 0.75, right? Minus the repairs that you're guessing. And this is another art that you have to figure out, is the repair estimate. If they tell you paint and carpet, on 1,000 square foot property, I would guesstimate 20,000. Not because it's only paint and carpet, because there's always more shit that they're not telling you. It might need a kitchen, etc. So I would start off just basing it off of 20,000, right? Just from experience. I know it's not just paint. Now, if they send you pictures and the calculator, that's something you work down the line. You don't need 10 different calculators. You can use the calculator on your phone. It's going to give you the same number. I promise you. The calculator on your phone is going to solve every wholesale deal the same way. That's it. Simple as that. And so this is really step A through Z on how to wholesale. You don't need a CRM. You can use a legal pad to start off. You can use a Google spreadsheet. You can use notes. You can use your phone. You don't need a fully built out. You can use a free Podio account. You don't need a fully built out CRM. You don't need a dialer. You can use your cell phone. That's how I do my deals, on my cell phone. You don't need to go spend $300 a month on, a dialer. Number 3, when you send out a contract, right, you're going to need a contract. I always recommend to get an attorney to type up a quick 1-page or 2-pager contract, because my contract may not work for you and vice versa. Or you can just type one up yourself, right? Use a template of what's already out there. I'm sure if you Google wholesaling contracts, something will pop up, but it's always recommended to get an attorney to review it. That's also one of the biggest questions here in the wholesale industry. Hey, what contract you use? What contract you use? Just get your own contract. Everybody has a contract out there in the abyss of Google that if you type it up, you'll find it. And so I would just take that and fix it, or just create your own, right? Another one is once you agree on a price and you have to send a contract, how do you send that contract? Well, you're in the best position you could be because you're new, because you don't have a DocuSign, you don't have a drop sign, etc. You don't use these electronic signature platforms. So once you're new and you go and sign up for these platforms, you get 30 days free, which is golden. You have full access to send as many contracts as you like. And I've actually have a way. It used to take me 5 minutes to type up a contract, to then upload it, to then input the data, to then send it to the customer. But now I have a way that takes me about 45 seconds to go from A to Z with a contract. And I'll probably be making a video on that as well. You go create your account, you send them the contract, they sign the contract, and then that's when the fun begins. That's when the whole entire disposition fun begins. Or it's easier if you're a newbie as well, you can do a JV. Plenty of folks to do JV with, joint ventures. You can JV with me and my team. You can JV with guys like RJ Bates. You can JV with people like Jerry Norton. It's plenty. It's whoever you feel comfortable with. But this truly is Wholesaling 101. Post your questions below. If I gave you too much to dissect, I can narrow this down and make another video. There's plenty still that we can go into, but this is really on a micro, level, what's going on, really. A lot of folks like to over-explain or use big, fancy, huge words, but really is the art of buying a pen for less and selling it to me for what I'm willing to pay, which is more than what you got it. And then you make the difference in the middle. And then, of course, that's not really profit because you have to take off your cost to acquire that deal. But that's a whole nother video as well. That's wholesaling. 1, get the lead. 2, contact the lead. 3, underwrite the deal. 4, lock the deal up. 5, sell the deal. That's it. Five simple steps. That's it. I do not recommend anybody do cold calling, driving for dollars, nothing. You either go and get a PPL or you join someone's team that's already doing business. Those are the only 2 ways that I recommend because you're really going to hit the ground running. All the other avenues take much longer to procure a deal and they're similar in cost when you break everything down. So this is exactly Wholesaling 101 in 2024.